Good morning, everybody. It is Football Friday here on the right side of campus here on SBR Forum and SBRPicks.com. I am the big man on campus, joined by my co-host, Donnie Right there. Donnie, it's Friday. We get ready for a weekend in football. We'll take a look at some morning headlines and more. How you doing today?
Doing good. Not a good day if you were a starting quarterback in college football yesterday, but getting you prepped and ready, Jeff, us being in the Philadelphia area, getting nonstop updates of who has a helmet on, who doesn't, where's Prince Harry, which one of these guards can you take out and see if you can make them blink in England. It's an Eagles invasion, Jeff, in London, a true interesting game because as most people like to think, the Jaguars are the home team over there. They will be severely outnumbered in this one, Jeff.
We welcome everyone in. Hope you had a great Thursday evening and you enjoy your Friday. A cold Friday, rain in the forecast here. Hopefully, you have a sunny day wherever you are. Do us a favor, hit the like button. Also, if you're on Twitter, retweet the show. It's a great way to get it out to people that might not know it's on or see it on a regular basis. And please check out everything at SBR. Make sure you're checking out all the great write-ups and shows and everything that SBR has to offer. Keep in mind, SBR's YouTube page is one of the biggest in the business in the sports betting community. So make sure you're checking out everything it has to offer. Let's start out with some headlines here this morning. We'll start with Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, the MVP candidate, a guy that was leading his team to a 2-0 series lead. Didn't stop him, Donnie, from after the game the other night, at 1 a.m. handing food to the homeless. Is this true? This is true. Amazing story, really. Listen, I'm not a big fan of people that. I mean, look, if you help people, that's great. I don't think it needs to be publicized if you're a celebrity. But what does he do? People see him, they take a picture. Um, what an impressive young guy. You know, some people just thumb their nose at helping people, especially again like a celebrity. But heroics on the field, heroics off, Donnie. Never, never a simple act. He goes out and helps the homeless. And I mean, temps were in the 30s that night. Very nice move by Mookie Betts. Even after the game, Donnie doesn't care.
Yeah, good on him. Good on Mookie Betts there. I mean, there's other guys in this sporting world, a la J.J. Watt, who do everything for the camera. But it's nice to see guys out there. He's not snapping his own picture, I don't think, in this one. Just doing a good deed where probably nobody, he didn't think anybody, throw a hoodie on. You know what I mean? Mookie Betts isn't a football player, an NBA player, 6'10", 300 pounds. Probably just throws in a regular hoodie on, some, jogging pants, goes out, hands out some food to the homeless, does a good deed and goes home. Good for somebody who actually captured it there, because if it was J.J. Watt, he would have had an entire film crew there filming in HD, getting ready to release it in the morning, Jeff.
I mean, he could have went out to the club, could have went out to the bar, whatever. Not Mookie Betts. He's out doing some good deeds. Good work for him. Nice kid and great baseball player. Rockets offer 4 first-round picks for Jimmy Butler. Kind of unreal, frankly. Again, I mean, you got to hope that he would sign long term, and you're basically giving it up for one season if he doesn't. Kind of a ridiculous, a forced first round picks for Jimmy Butler. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're trying to win titles, and you have your generational players, James Harden there. Chris Paul is starting to go on the downside of his career. You need that third superstar if you want to get after Golden State. We saw, hamstring or no hamstring, that you can win a title if you do stay healthy. There's no guarantee that you get Jimmy Butler and he stays healthy or Harden stays healthy or anything. But if you're going to own up and you have that window to get after it while you have these superstars, why not go for it? What's the difference of giving up 4 first-round draft picks that over the next couple of years might be in the 30s, and who knows in the future what actually anything's going to be. Go out and sign some free agents. You're Houston, who knows? But if you are a fan, I like it. If my ownership's going to go all in saying, we owe you guys a title, we're going to go out and get one, I can't fault the franchise. And first-round draft picks that are late in the NBA don't mean squat. Who knows, Jeff? Maybe it could be 4 Markelle Fultzes that they're trading away. Ooh, Houston, don't do that.
True. Could also be a Jason Tatum or someone like that. Yeah, I mean, you really, it could be Jahlil Okafor or Jason Tatum. It's really up. You never really know, I guess. But I guess if you're getting a guy that's proven, Listen, I'm one of these people, Daddy, where I'm not a big. I couldn't care less about draft picks, really. Like the Eagles. I mean, someone didn't want to offer, you know, a pick for somebody. Look, this person could come help you now or whatever. I'm not a huge, you know,
Draft
buyer
picks
in
win
pick.
games, Jeff. Draft picks win NFL games, not players. Draft picks, they win
Yeah,
games.
maybe. Hey, you might be right. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or actually mean that, but
No, I
yeah,
am. Like
I hear
for
you. I
some
mean,
reason,
it's
like you hear like stuff like there's people out there that would say, I don't know, like that's just who's a great like Khalil Mack. Oh my God, they gave up way too much. Yeah, because that first rounder that's going to turn into a backup guard on your offensive line. Yeah, he's going to win football games for you. Come on.
you never know. You really never know how it's going to work. Where else are we going to go here? NFL Saxon official. They already. This is something that I've never really seen before. Two sources close to the NFL reported that the NFL's fired their first official this season in the middle of the season after a poor officiating during the Super Bowl. Or during the Super Bowl, it's the first one that's ever happened. Hugo Cruz, a referee part of Carl Sheffer's crew, missed a high-profile call in a game Sunday. He did not work the following week, so it was 2 weeks ago. You don't really hear about officials being fired mid-season, Donnie, right?
No, it's good. It's good PR by the NFL. They're probably not supposed to leak it and probably embarrass their own union of referees, and I'm sure they're upset about it. But good on the NFL for saying, "Look, we're just going to sacrifice this guy up because he is the one that missed that agreed." Look, the game didn't matter. The game was over since the Chargers were rolling the Browns. But you might have thought it was the CFL, Jeff. You know the CFL where you get a head start and you get to run like 40 yards out of your backfield and launch yourself at the snap. That's what it was, role reversed, when an offensive tackle took like 17 steps back before the snap, and it wasn't called. And on that play, the Chargers did score a touchdown. So it was one of the more egregious false starts you'll see, but good on them. Maybe to wake up. You know, you have to do that sometimes, Jeff, where you say, you know what? I'm the owner of a business. I got 50 people in here. I need to shake things up. You just walk in and you fire the first guy you see. Get out of here. And everybody's like, whoa, owner means business today. Good for the NFL. Wake those other
Yeah,
refs up, man.
Ari Gold used to do that all the time. He
Yes,
just fired
correct.
people for no reason. Um, Dude, the best scene in that show, Donnie, is when he comes into work the one day and that one guy's they're in the room, they're playing hangman on the thing, and
Hmm.
he's like trying to figure it out, and he goes, "Hey, Joe, see if you can see this," and he writes, "Get the fuck out," and he
Yep.
goes,
He
"Who
was
wants
high
to
strung,
join?
Art. Yeah.
If I see anyone else doing this, they'll join him." That's a great scene.
Yep.
Hey, big man, I hit a teaser last night. Thoughts? Good for you, man.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not sure what you want me to say. Great work, Jared. Um, I guess you're trying to get a rise out of me on teaser thoughts. Yeah, I don't like them. Neither does Donnie. But hey, if you hit them and you win, good for you, man. Nothing wrong with that. Money still counts. Um, Donnie, Willie Colon is in the news. Uh, I don't know if anyone remembers who Willie Colon actually is, but he was an offensive lineman. He played for, I
Mhm.
believe, the Steelers at one point, the Jets. Um, Willie Colon now works for Barstool. He does shows, a show in the morning, but he was on a show yesterday with Dave Portnoy, the Muppet that Dave Portnoy is, and they started talking about Carson Wentz, Donnie, and Willie Colon basically said that he believes that the Eagles made a mistake, that they should have never brought Carson Wentz back to start, that he's been very average this year. And I asked myself, do these fucking people actually watch sports? They actually
No, they don't.
is the
No.
goal just to be a brainwashed, delusional idiot that only roots for the fucking Patriots. I mean, Carson Wentz has got one of the best QB ratings in the league behind some of the, obviously some of the big names: Breeze, Rivers, Mahomes, Golf, Ryan. Um, I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns over 1,500 yards. I mean, do these fucking people actually watch this sport?
Well, no, look, there's a lot of podcasts out there, that just you're trying to get something out there that maybe you can hit the headline. Because as you said, like Willie Colon with Barstool, like I have no idea. Like Willie Colon, he's doing radio now. Like I don't know. So now you say something idiotic like Skip Bayless would usually do, and if you don't know who they are, that's how you get your name into the I don't want to say highlights, but into like the Twitter sphere, so to speak. At that point, I had no idea Willie Colon was doing a show. Now you brought it up as a topic. Now we know Willie Colon's out there and he makes nonsense statements like that. So, hey, there we go. Willie Colon's job. I guess he did his job, Jeff, for Barstool, wherever he works for now, because now we know about him.
But it's more or less Dave Portnoy's inability to know anything about sports. This is Dave Portnoy is the same guy last year that said Carson Wentz is the second best quarterback in the league. Now he hates him and he's no good. And this guy just he
Well, I thought it
doesn't
was
watch
Willie Colon
sports.
that said it. Who actually said it then?
Well, Cologne said it, and Portnoy was kind of getting it. They were kind of talking about it in general. Portnoy says that Carson Wentz isn't any good. Philly's a joke, all this kind of thing. Cologne said that stuff, but Portnoy was kind of the starter of the conversation. But he only watches during the playoffs. He doesn't even watch sports, so we're well with that. But yes, Willie Cologne is still around and still making stupid comments.
Interesting.
It's satire. How do you not understand? No, it isn't satire, actually, Donald. I listened to the interview, watched the interview. Maybe certain things they do, but we get what they're trying to do, Donald. You're not the only person that knows Barstool's satire. This thing wasn't though. It seemed like a very standard conversation in general. Donnie, let's move on. Get into some NFL here. Last night's game, can't say I watched a minute of it. I did check out some highlights though. Dolphins get crushed, like I think we thought they would. DeAndre Hopkins continues to be the most talented receiver in the league. And listen, this Houston team's 5-3, Donnie. How about that? A hell of a win for them last night. Deshaun Watson was good. I mean, he didn't have to do a ton. Had 5 touchdowns through 20 throws, had 16 completed. Nice night for the Texans. Big
Yeah, yeah.
offensive.
Yeah, it looked healthy. We talked about it yesterday on the show, 7.5, you're saying, and my whole breakdown of the game that we talked about on the WCKG show was, are we looking at this game, and if you think the Dolphins can win, then you should take the 7.5. If you think the Dolphins can stay close, then you shouldn't be betting football there. And it turned out that way. I thought it would be a little bit lower scoring, the 45.5. I would have actually taken the under in that instance since it was a Thursday night game, but they obliterated that. But the overall play made a little bit more sense there. Where you're saying Brock Osweiler on the road, down 2 weapons. Doesn't look so hot out there. Now, an interesting thing happened last night is you got some injuries on Houston. Will Fuller out for the year with an ACL tear. So now with this team, you have 5 straight wins. It's about, you wouldn't say, I still don't say Super Bowls for the Texans, but when you have a window to like win your division, and it looks like they have a window now to do that again, they need to pick up the phone and make a call for another wide receiver to complement DeAndre Hopkins, because you had the perfect formula, another viable weapon on the other side that can take the top off the defense you have to worry about, and DeAndre Hopkins can work through his rolled coverages on the other side. You lose Will Fuller now. You better go there and get another number 2 wide receiver that can do similar things that Will Fuller can do. Otherwise, you roll that coverage over to Hopkins and can just focus on him. That makes Deshaun Watson's life a lot harder also. So looking last night, Jeff, Devontae Parker had a nice game for the Miami Dolphins. Maybe he can be left in town for those Houston Texans.
Great work by Bill O'Brien. He continues to impress. 5 straight wins for BOB, and he's really kind of shutting all the haters up with tremendous coaching performances. It's just terrific. You love to see this, Donnie. I mean, Bill O'Brien, I mean, he was left for dead. Now people are looking pretty stupid.
No, you're right. Yeah, I mean, and look, this is one of my favorite things. You didn't have to watch a lot of that football game yesterday to watch the opening kickoff of the football game. Look, this is the stuff that Jeff and I point out, and I rail on Hugh Jackson because it's not the overall coaching that's the problem. It's the fact that you have imbeciles that are actually running your organization, and you can sit at home on your couch and know what right and wrong in the NFL is, but sometimes the head football coaches can't. Case in point, Jeff, opening kickoff, the Houston Texans kick off to the Miami Dolphins. And you know as well as I do, if you get a touchback, it's at the 25. That's usually what takes place in the NFL. Well, the Dolphins, brain dead, well, actually, I can't say they're brain dead. It was a squib kick down there to the 1. They return it to the 22-yard line. There was a penalty on the Miami Dolphins. So what happens? What does Bill O'Brien do, Jeff? Accepts the penalty, which moves the kickoff 5 yards further, and they kick a touchback, therefore sending the ball to the 25 instead of the 22. And the Texans got a penalty on that play, which set the ball up at the 30 when it should have been at the 22 to start off. I don't know how these guys get jobs in the NFL. It's just like common sense stuff where they're just completely baffled by in the NFL these days is always amazement. We didn't even get one play into the game yet, and you saw what type of a buffoon Bill O'Brien is, Jeff.
Settle down, Donnie. He is killing it right now. He continues to just fire away, get wins. A terrific coach. a terrific demeanor. You got to respect quality like him.
We
Um,
gotta get a show. Look, we have a lot of shows on SBR. I think we need like a half-hour show, maybe only like like Bad Beats on Scott Van Pelt does. Like, I just want to bring up like coaching miscues. Like, we can laugh when coaches go for two and they shouldn't, or it's a 4th and 1 and they throw a deep ball instead of just quarterback sneaking it for the first down. It would be it might be one of the higher-rated shows, Jeff. It would be just hilarious to watch professional head football coaches and coaching staff just make a mockery of themselves. And it probably would need longer than a half hour to actually go through the show.
sure. Donnie, at this show, we stick up for our friends, and I'm going to stick up for one right now. Settle down, Kenny Davis. He's a friend of the show. Ski's a great NBA guy, and we're going to stick up for him here. Go get a life, right? Will you? I don't think Ski profits down that much. He's done a great job. Donnie, Ski, a friend of the show. We can't have Kenny Davis talking about him. I don't like that. Kenny Davis doesn't seem like a real profile either.
No, it looks like a well, it looks like, oh wait, Jeff, I see Kenny in here on all the shows for the past 3 years.
I've never seen him, and I don't know. I've got a lot of shows here. But Donnie, let's move on. How about this, Donnie? Last night, five games in college football, five overs, and
Mhm.
any of the five
About
games were
time too.
decided within 20 points. I mean, these games were all blowouts. They were, if you had the favorites, um, in most of these, easy, and some not so easy. If you had overs, you were an easy winner last night. You swept the board. We start out Donnie 105, 106. Shout out to one of our friends on the Sub ECKG show called in yesterday. Put his pick out there. Toledo money line. Winner, winner.
That was
Great work.
nice. Yeah. Yeah.
51-24. I'm trying to remember what that kid's name was. I want to say it was Brian, maybe. I have to
Yeah,
write
have
that.
him with the
I
reach
didn't
out.
write it down,
We'll
but
give him a shout out on the radio show today. I'm sure he'll let us know through Twitter what the actual name was.
yeah.
But no, I do remember that yesterday. Yeah, that was a very good call. Very good call.
Yeah, great work. They controlled the game from start, really. And this is the MAC right here. This is the randomness of the MAC. Yeah, you can have blowouts, but I'll tell you what, Donnie. Here's what I've learned about the MAC. When you have two good teams facing each other, and you're getting points, it's generally a good point to just take the money line, see what happens. Generally, these are very much point flips. This league, there's not a lot of difference between the 1 and the 4 team.
No, it's a great football conference to watch. That was the one you wanted to be interested in. And how about both quarterbacks in the Toledo Western Michigan game, Jeff, go down, and Wasink goes down in a 7-0 game, and we've been there before on those sides of the bets. You just rip your ticket up and see what's what. The backup wasn't that bad, but Peters for Toledo played very well. It looked like the old Toledo squad. We were saying yesterday, or at least I was saying yesterday, like, look, man, this doesn't look like your old Toledo squad. They're not playing the right defense. They're not explosive on offense just yet, outside of a couple games earlier. But now it looks like they might get their stride in the wild MAC. You knock off some of these upper echelon teams like Western Michigan, you can get on a roll out there. That was a fun game to watch. And Ohio just did what Ohio did, Jeff. 31 points in the second quarter, 21 points in the third. And I know Jeff gets angry at this, even though it did go over the total, I believe, by maybe a half point, or maybe you push that game, where Ohio just says, yeah, we don't feel like scoring in the fourth, even though we can score every single time downfield. Another quarterback injury in that game also for Ball State's quarterback, Riley Neal. So an interesting game in college. And there's another college football game out there we'll go over in just a few moments that had a quarterback injury as well.
Settle down, Donnie. I'm going through each game. Donnie jumping the shark here. Ohio beat. I'm trying to do it uniform. All right, I'm uniform today. I'm
Uniform. You
trying to
never even
go
go straight in line on there. Usually we have like the
one
say
oh
like the Thursday Night Football recap, and you'll be like 5 straight for Houston, even though it's last in line. Stop it.
107. Well, because I create the thing and you add in all this stupid stuff. We talked
Yeah,
about
but it's
five
on the
straight. Great.
ticker, man. It's on the ticker.
Uh, who
That's what you do.
cares about that? It's just there for show. Ohio beats Ball State 52-14, and the game did go over by half a point, and of course it did. Why wouldn't it have? I wasn't on that. But Ohio went down early. They were down in this game 7-0, but it was just Ohio really from then on. You know, I like this Ohio team. They're really good on defense or offense, and I'll tell you what, they're starting to look good on defense as well. This is another game where they hold an opponent under 20 points. And Neal, like you mentioned, did go out, but you know, Ball State, a team that you maybe thought would come to play in this game, it used to be a close one. They were boat raced in the second and third quarters, and Bobcats get a nice, easy win at home. This one was really not in doubt after halftime. I think at halftime it was like 31-6, 7 or something. So easy winner for Bobcat backers
Yeah,
over
they're you know what's
just.
yeah, because we like the 10 and 11, that game really wasn't even on my radar, like saying, "Oh, I like it one way or another." Since we've seen like what MAC football can turn out to be, but it looks like Ohio's one of those teams, Jeff, that they're a lot of fun for you to bet on if you have their side and they're rolling. Because the quarterback, paired up, you have what Malik Irons, AJ Olette, and then you have Rourke as the quarterback. The read option game, when they're rolling, Jeff, it's 10 to 15 yards every single carry. And it's always nice because sometimes you see like the RPOs and the read options in college where the quarterback just keeps it every once in a while, 3 carries for 6 yards. Like he busts them. Like 20, 30-yard runs for the quarterback is nothing. And then you have that added dimension where you have deep threats at wide receiver like Poppy White. You stick that football in here after Olette runs for 10 yards, pull it back out, and there goes Poppy White streaking down the center of the field. They're a fun team to watch, but they are kind of maddening because, Jeff, as you know, 1 second, 2 second on the clock, holding the arm out here, checking with the sideline, holding the arm out again, clap 1 second. So you do need those chunk plays. Can you imagine, Jeff, if Ohio operated like a normal up-tempo college offense, what they would be able to do? It would be pretty fun to watch.
Sure. No, you're right. But want to actually comment on a comment Donnie made. You're totally right, Donnie. We actually celebrate today Ski Profit's first hater. Congratulations. Let's give him a clap. Someone actually went out and created a profile for you, pal. It's a big day for you. You've been welcomed into the business with open arms, and we welcome you in after getting your first hater. Donnie, you ain't nobody until someone starts hating on you. Shout out to you, Ski Profit. Nice work. You're a big proponent of that, Donnie, aren't you?
Yes, and also Hugh Rection just got my 50-unit game of the year on GPR. I think he means QPR, Jeff. I'm hoping. I'm
Yeah,
hoping that means
I don't know.
QPR.
I don't know. I've never
We'll
heard
go.
of
You know
GP.
what? No, let's. You know what? No. Let's stay with it. Absolutely, Hugh. GPR is the play today.
Yeah, QPR actually does play today. They play Aston
Oh,
Villa
there we
on
go.
the
You updated. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Friday night football on Sky Sports. So for anyone curious, we will break that game down here in a little bit. So stick around for the QPR Aston Villa breakdown.
Ah,
Next game here, Donnie. App State. How about this? What a
yes.
win
How about it?
for the
Yeah.
Southern. And I will say this. I think a lot of people push the total in this game. I think on the show, Donnie, we gave out 48.5. I have to go listen back, but yeah, the late
It was
number in this
50 and a
game.
half on the second show.
Okay.
Yes, that's
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
that's one of those where you could have got right in the middle, and a lot of people were happy with the. I know Vital said I saw him put out the 45 and a half, so he gets that. And if you had the under, late in the game or whatever you waited
So
on it, you got that too.
the late money came in and pumped this number down to 46.5 or 47. Look, I watched the end of this game. I was just really kind of
No, I think it was
watching
the
to see if
opposite, Jeff. I think the opening number was 46 or 45 and a half, and they pushed that up to like 50, 50. Because it was 50 and a half about what, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock yesterday.
no, I'm saying late money right before the game pushed it down to
Oh, it
46.5.
went
But
back down
either way,
it went back down to 46 again?
yeah.
Let me see.
So yeah, if you bet on this game late, look,
Ah,
I
I
watched.
got it. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a good call by you. That is a good call. It did crash at the game time. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, this game was it was pretty much decided early. I mean, Georgia Southern rolled in this game. They were up big. I was just really trying to see if they would score a late
Quarterback injury.
touchdown.
Yeah.
And on 4th and goal with 10 seconds to go, you need one stop if you're App State. They can't get it. Game goes over. But a Statesboro win. They haven't beaten App State since 2014. Big time win for the Eagles. And look, this team, a coaching change can do wonders. Oh, what a surprise. Back to coaching again. Making the right hire. It's the true important part of college football. Tyson Summers couldn't do jack shit. They bring Chad Lunsford in. And look, all of a sudden, this team is doing some big things. They look like the team of 4 or 5 years ago, where they're just rolling teams. Had Matt Breida at running back. This is an impressive win against a really good football team. You put up 34 points against App State. That's impressive work. Nice win for the Eagles.
No, it was a nice win. You get that added benefit. You're already down your top running back, and then through the game, App State loses their starting quarterback on top of it. So now it's the time to prepare and get after it and get ready. And they did in that game. It was, what is it, 17-7 at the half. So they were in control the way they want to run it. But you're right, little shenanigans late. I believe you have 2 touchdowns scored in the last 5 minutes of that game. And as you would like to say, is that's why the game probably went over, is because you weren't on it. Because when do you ever get that, Jeff, in a game where you need 2 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes in meaningless football? and you end up with one touchdown and one knee on the other side. Come on.
Agreed. Georgia Tech beats Vatek. Nice win for the Rambling Wreck
Yep.
here.
Mm-hmm.
This one didn't make a ton of sense. I mean,
Yep.
Vatek isn't Vatek. I mean, this team stinks. They're not what they once were. This isn't Michael Vick. This ain't this great team that's got a tremendous defense. They stink on defense. Bud Foster sucks. They get crushed at home by 21. Nice win for Tech.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about this one? You can't just go out and like fade a line or fade a play. You almost have to dig down in the details and see like how crazy some things do appear to the naked eye. We said it yesterday, Jeff. So let me get this straight, right? What do you need if you're going to play a triple option team, or what do you want? Extra time to prepare. Check. Virginia Tech. A road game on a Thursday night, which again, both these teams had extra time to prepare, so the travel wasn't a difference. But loud crowd, loud environment, typically very tough home team to play against in their building. Virginia Tech, check. Georgia Tech doesn't throw the football. That's how you get after the Virginia Tech defense. Check. Virginia Tech stops the run pretty well, and Georgia Tech, the only thing they do is run. Check. Bud Foster has seen this team 15 to 20 times. Check. Last game that you just saw them in a similar scenario with a decent football team in Duke, shut down the triple option and caused, turnovers. Check. And last night, Jeff, the exact opposite of all that happened. Virginia Tech went in there, crumbled on defense. Georgia Tech went wild and blew them out of their building. Therefore, the number going from 4.5 down to 3 to 3.5, back down to 3 all game long. And I told you, Jeff, I said the normal capper would look at this game the way I just looked at it and said, I don't understand here. Like, Georgia Tech stinks on defense, and they're going to run into a brick wall, it seems like, on Virginia Tech's defense. They should be able to stop the run and load up on it. They couldn't stop anything last night. Just one of those amazing games where you saw that line and said, boy, oh boy, this is straight up Georgia Tech or nobody.
Yeah, good call. Georgia Tech, that when that option gets going, it is tough. One more here. Baylor gets beat up by West Virginia, 58-14. This game went over the total with about 14 minutes to go in this game. An easy over winner. They ended up scoring the rest of the game, but didn't matter. Game had already went over. This game was a blowout at half. It's 41-0 at half. Credit Baylor for at least putting 2 touchdowns on the board. This is exactly what you want to see, Donnie, as an over better in a game. A lot of the time when a team's down 41-0, they're just gonna go to sleep and whatever happens. But these teams were very very active after halftime. They didn't mind. They're putting points on the board. That's what you want to see as an over better, not quitting because you're down 41-0 and you're just trying to get out of town.
Yeah, this was the one game, Jeff, that never made it onto my TV. Flipping through the majority of games, checking in, and they weren't really interesting. I mean, look, if you had a bet on, let's just say you were laying the wood on Georgia Tech, you probably watched it all the way through and had a great time and, had a couple beers and celebrated into the early morning. But outside of that, the NFL game to me wasn't very interesting. Neither one of these games, I wanted to sit down and watch the MAC game. That really wasn't interesting after Wasink went out. Toledo took control. It was a good night of scoring if you were taking some over-unders in this instance. But that game, Jeff, didn't make it on my TV. And from what it looks like, I'm glad it didn't make it on my TV.
Yeah, I actually recommended it over in this game, so I kind of hoped it went over, and it did. So, if you followed our plays last night on this show, you did good. So, hey, guys, check out the show every day, 3 o'clock p.m., 2 p.m. Central on WCKG. You can now listen to on Periscope, Facebook, wherever you're available to listen, iHeartRadio. We are also on iTunes now, so you can listen to the show every day. You could subscribe. Donnie, we're on iTunes.
Yeah, I don't even know how to subscribe, but I have the app on my phone with Google. So
you just go to the page, the Apple Podcast page of iTunes. Type in the closing line.
Can you get that with Can you get that with an Android, or do you have to have like No.
No. The Android doesn't have iTunes on it. It's an Apple thing.
So that's what I mean.
if you have a Mac or anything, you please go check it out. That's something you're gonna have to do, Donnie. You get iTunes on your PC and subscribe that way. So there you go. So please do that, guys. And there were people asking us about listening to shows and after the fact or whatever. That's where you can do it. check out iTunes. Just type in the closing line. Let's keep it moving here, Donnie. NBA last night. Only a couple games on the card, but there were a few. The Lakers get their second win of the season. One of the best teams in the league finally gets that second win. I'll tell you what, this was a real just collapse by the Denver Nuggets. Up eight in the fourth quarter. Nuggets go on, give up a 19-4 run, really just kind of collapse. Nice win for the Lakers. Lonzo Ball was important in this one. Lance Stevenson had a nice game. This was a nice game, really, all around. A lot of players played well. Nuggets just collapsed, Donnie. I know you didn't watch much of this, but Lakers get their second win.
Yeah, and look at that, Jeff. With the line open up at 239, comes down at Pinnacle to 235. When we close the game, 121-14. Right on that number there, Jeff. Congratulations if you got that game early on the under and pushed it all the way down with your sharpness. You won that. So congratulations.
Yeah, look, if you bet this game, if you lost this game, like or pushed, stop betting. Like seriously. If you bet this game at 235 and took the under, I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's just brutal betting. Because if you're liking unders like this, you got to bet them right away. I mean, let me ask you, Donnie. If you let's say you
There
open
was a
up your
game that
odds
went up
screen,
10 points yesterday, Jeff. Ball. I like this one even better, Jeff. I'm just looking at the Celtics and the Thunder. 196. The line opened up at
yeah,
210 and steamed it all the way up to 219 and then got beat.
yes.
Jesus.
But let me ask you, if you were looking at NBA, right, and you're betting on it, and you open up your odds screen on a day, and you see a total at 239, you think, oh, whoa, that's too many points. Why would you wait? Why wouldn't you just bet that then? Like, what would be the point of waiting on that? Like, it's not going to go up any higher. The only thing it's going to do is go down. Why would you wait?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how the
Hurry
NBA
on.
works in that fashion because I think people are still figuring out what type of scoring you're going to get and what number is actually really high and really not high. So I guess automatically, Jeff, when you just look out and say 209, you run to like the store and just cash out all your money in the ATM and just put it on the over because you're
You're
used to
not
seeing
betting.
235. Yeah.
There's not going to be anything over 239. Very rarely. That's going to be the highest you're going to put it. I wonder about that strategy. But a nice win for the Lakers nonetheless. You mentioned Boston, Oklahoma City. Game stays way under, and the Celtics win the game by 6. I do know, Donnie, there were certain people that, um, Donnie, when you push a teaser, that's a loser, right?
Typically, yes.
Yeah, agreed. But some were out there saying that it's a winner,
Well,
or
how's it a winner though? You can't win it, can you? How can
not
you win a
sure.
teaser if it one ties? Because
That's the
it doesn't revert to one game.
big question, Donnie Rightside, that we're all curious about. Um, Trailblazers beat the Magic and cover the number. Nice win for the Blazers. I considered the Magic. Glad I didn't. I just, I didn't end up playing. I didn't play anything in the NBA last night. And then the Pistons beat the Cavs. They don't cover though, only win by 7. Uh, Donnie, probably not a great idea to be laying almost double digits with Detroit on a back to back. Not really a team I want to lay double digits with. Nice. Cavs have been covering. They've been doing some good things as a dog this year. I'd like to see their record as a dog. Yeah, 3-0 again as a dog, I believe this year. So a nice work against the spread if you are the Cavs. Nice work. Tony, let's move on to tonight's game. See what we have. We do have a nice about 20 minutes to break these games down. We got 5 on the card. Yes, we all know it's a loss, guys. I guess I'm being too sarcastic, and it doesn't. No one's understanding. Donnie, you know what I'm saying here, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like if you don't bet the games or whatever, so you probably don't know what wins and loses. I remember a couple years back, some famous people out there betting baseball totals, and game goes what 6? Let's just say you have over 7.5, and it's 6-2 in the seventh inning, and the game gets rained out. People used to say I won that, and that's fantastic. When you didn't win it because it wasn't qualified as a game to go over the total. So a lot of that stuff floats out around there. So.
Also, Donnie, if you're betting college basketball, make sure you know that there's a Lafayette and a Louisiana Lafayette. They're two different teams. Important.
What do we do
Any
in
comment
football?
on
Can we
that?
get some football going? Yes. No, no comment.
All right, 115, 116. Miami 3.5, total 50.5. Take it on Boston College, heading up to Chestnut Hill. Donnie, this is your club. Listen, I like Miami. Giving up 2.85 yards a carry. I got to think it's going to be difficult tonight for A.J. Dillon. He comes back from injury. Listen, Boston College, I've not been too impressed by. They've not been good defensively. I don't really think they're a team that I'm in love with. I think they'll struggle to run the ball in this game. What do you like here? Miami, Boston College, anything?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I wish N'Kosi Perry was in there so Miami can move on with their football livelihood here. But apparently, taking pictures with money is against religion and Mark Richt. God would
Right.
not look
Right.
down on
What's up
that
with that?
kindly. So you have to sit out again, and then you have to make up stories. And instead of just being truthful to your fan base and saying, "Look, man, we suspended him at the beginning of the season. We told him he can't do anything that damages the program or puts himself in a bad light or a negative light, or he will be suspended again." But instead, you make up some cockamamie story that Malik Rozier gives you the best chance at winning. And we all know Malik Rozier is a trash can at quarterback, literally a trash can out there rolling around in the pocket and throwing footballs into the ground, into the stands, 15 feet short of wide receivers. But he's a good kid, studies hard, and that's why he's going to lead the Miami football program because their defense is kick-ass. Miami's a kick-ass defensive team. They can just roll out there and D it up. But when you have Malik Rozier as your starting quarterback, you just hope you get something like, ooh, good pass, 15 yards, thank goodness. But more likely you're ready for the overthrow or the underthrow or the scramble around to throw an interception and just make mind-boggling, dumb plays out there. Because typically if you said, hey, Miami's going to go on the road, play Boston College, it's only 3.5. Miami should win this football game because Boston College isn't that much to shake a stick out on defense. And the Hurricanes are going to turn in a good defensive effort, regardless of Boston College, if Dillon's back at running back or not, or whatever goes on. But the simple fact that Malik Rozier is out there completely removes the Miami Hurricanes from my board until N'Kosi Perry comes back and plays quarterback.
So, all in all, you would think they would cover here. They're great defensively. BC should have some trouble. Look, I guess if you don't like Rozier, why not lean on the under in this game, right side? I mean, you don't like Rozier. You don't think he can move the ball. You have to think BC will struggle a little bit. It's cold. It's going to be raw up there. These Miami kids. I know people make that big claim all the time. I don't think it's that big a deal, but maybe a little too high here on total 50.5. Maybe look towards that. 117, 118. Indiana heading on the road to take on Minnesota. I'll tell you what, Donnie, I haven't been on either of these teams this year.
Yeah.
Minnesota's I really kind of got away from when I saw Brooks and Smith were out. A Nextad is questionable every week. It seems like Peyton Ramsey, not a bad quarterback. I kind of lean Indiana here, but I'm not crazy about laying points at them on the road. This is one of those I don't care matchups, but I'll tell you for these two teams, Donnie, it's a big game. I mean, you have basically 5 games left. Indiana has 4 wins. Minnesota has 3 wins. Look at Minnesota and PJ Fleck when they get back to a bowl game. You have some winnable games here still. But here's the thing, Donnie. Indiana, Illinois, and Purdue coming up. You have to figure you could get 2 wins there. Where's that third win going to come from? But if you want any shot at a bowl game, you got to get this win tonight at home. Two teams battling, kind of similar. I don't see real value in this one.
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, you would say Indiana's probably the overall better team, the better quarterback in this situation. But then again, you're looking at 40% of the public betting Minnesota. Line opens up at 2.5 as a road favorite for Indiana. Now sitting at 2 pretty much across the board, over under 54. I don't have a great feel or mindset on this game, but we do know Minnesota comes in limited weapons. But then that line is not going anywhere. And you're right. I haven't bet on an Indiana game or a Minnesota game, and I probably won't for the rest of the year. I don't see that much value either way instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to take the home dog. I think they can play well at home, and I don't think Indiana's going to be able to stretch them. But outside of that, I have no feel for this game, and I don't really care about either one of these programs betting-wise.
Utah heading on the road to take on UCLA. Utah 10.5, UCLA, and the total here 55. Listen, Donnie, Utah is really good. I like this team. They're playing good football. They're kind of that sleeper team right now in the Pac-12. There's always a sleeper team. Is it Washington State? Is it Utah? This Utah team's good. They're scoring points. Huntley looks like a solid quarterback. Last 3 games, 41 a game, 3-0. Defensively, they're the best run defense in the country. They're, I think, top 40 in pass defense. They've really done a great job this season. You have to be impressed every year about what a great coach at Kyle Whittingham does. does wins bowl games. I mean, he's one of the underrated coaches, Donnie, out there. He doesn't he doesn't get any credit, but Whittingham is a hell of a coach. On the other side, I mean, you got to figure where's UCLA going to move the ball here? It's probably going to be pretty impenetrable to run the football, and you have a quarterback in Dorian Thompson that's injured. Wilton Spates looked brutal. Thompson's going to go tonight, I believe, but can't see how effective he's going to be. This isn't Arizona or Cal. This is a big time offense. I kind of look at this game like I looked at UCLA against Colorado. Maybe they hang around for a quarter, but then, like last night in some of those games, the better team just kind of takes care of business and wins by 2 touchdowns plus. I kind of like Utah. The only thing really keeping me off of this one is the road factor. And there's a lot of injuries for UCLA. They have some big time guys that might be out of this game. Nate Metters, a defensive back, big time player. There's some other guys that are questionable at this one. What do you think here? Anything?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of movement there, but you know what's interesting? When you look at the last couple games for UCLA, maybe that rhythm is finally getting back in. No shame, Jeff, in playing Washington and losing by a touchdown. Then you blast Cal, and then you come back and play Arizona and beat them 31-30. So maybe getting a little bit in rhythm here on offense with some of that Chip Kelly regime. And another thing I don't like about this game, you're right, Utah going on the road. Yes, Utah smash UCLA. Should be an easy matchup. 75% of the betting public think it's an easy matchup. Line opens up 10.5. What are we still sitting at today, Jeff? 10.5. So something's going to have to give in this game. It's just a matter of how ready is Utah going to be to go on the road. Does Utah really want to hit the gas pedal and beat this team by 2 touchdowns and say, you know what? We're here and we're going to stamp our flag and we're going to keep it moving. They don't really have any look-ahead games, Jeff, at UCLA, at Arizona State. Oregon's not for a couple weeks down the line. Maybe this is one where they say, hey, we should be able to beat UCLA. Let's just get out there and play on the road and see what happens. But a lot of public support for Utah. Not a lot of line movement here.
Yeah, Donnie, look, I hate to. I mean, again, I get you, I hear you, but I don't really think teams think like that. I mean, you really think they're like, oh well, let's win, but let's not win by double digits. Let's just try to get the win.
Oh yeah, no,
I
yeah,
just,
no.
I
It's
don't know.
it's 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 definitely because we used to, even when I was in college, we weren't a very good football team. When I was in high school, you'd circle these games, going, you know what? I think I can get a touchdown this game. That's going to be a tough game right there. Oh man, if we can just get by this team, that following week's going to be a big game. That's the human psyche. That's all. And you don't have the home crowd pushing you along, be like, hey, this is our crowd here tonight. You're on the road, fly in. You're going to stay at a hotel. You're going to be in unfamiliar places. And that's just the way it is with these college kids.
Just want to make this clear: all 5 wins for Utah have come by double digits. Just throwing
Yeah, they're a
that one
good
out
team. I
there.
like.
Yeah, they're really solid. They're going to get stops on defense. And Donnie Ukla, I mean, I'm not a. I mean, this team has 2 wins. They played better lately, but this isn't Arizona's defense. Okay, this isn't a Cal team that's quit. This isn't that situation. And up until then, it's not been a pretty season for the Bruins. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'd love to get this 9.5. There's something about that double digit that I like to have it under, but we'll see where this number goes. It hasn't moved, which is kind of a concern. Um, let's go to Wyoming, Colorado State. This one's moved, and I don't understand it, but I also in a way don't really care, frankly. I think Colorado State's going to win, and I think they're going to take care of business here. Um, I like their pass offense. I have no interest in Wyoming ever. This is a road game for the Cowboys. They're 1-4 as or actually they're a dog here, so that won't matter. They're a favorite here. I'm sorry, not a dog, favorite. What do you like here, Donnie? I mean, Wyoming has shown you that I guess they're okay on defense. They're one of the worst offensive teams in the country. Kind of remind you of Northern Illinois a little bit. That's kind of what they are. They're not good on offense and they're decent on defense. Colorado State, one of the better passing offenses in the country. What do you think here?
Yeah, same MO last night as the Georgia Tech game for me. I mean, let's say wait, Colorado State has way more weapons. Utah or Wyoming can't move the football. Colorado State opens up as a favorite, now swings to a dog in this game. Hello, one I'm going to be checking into. But when you take a look at Wyoming, they're going to play some pretty good defense. And I think they're a product more of their schedule than what their actual team has done. You get beat by Boise State 34-14 on the blue turf. That's no shame there. You go to Hawaii, which is one of the awful travel situations for anybody going out there. You drop that game 17-13. Then you go play Fresno State, who is very under the radar, dominant, really good football team. You lose 27-3 on the road. Then you play Utah State, who's a really good football team. You lose
Hey,
that one
Donnie,
24-16. Yeah.
I think you're looking at the wrong schedule. They haven't played Fresno or Utah State.
I got Wofford, Boise State, Hawaii, Fresno State, Utah
That's
State is the
Wyoming's
last four
schedule.
games. Wyoming. Yes, that's what I'm looking at. Wyoming.
I thought you were looking at Colorado State's schedule.
No, this is Wyoming's schedule.
My fault. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is their last four games, you can't put them in a tougher environment than what they've been in at Hawaii and the three top teams in your division. Now you're going to come down and get a breather against a team that can't block anybody in Colorado State. So Granderson,
Sure.
the defensive end, he is going to get after Colorado State. They seemingly can't get out of their own way. It's one of those where this team should have clicked by now, but just can't get out of their own way. This line stinks to high heaven. It would be Wyoming or nobody in this football game for me.
I get real scared in this game because you look at Colorado State. I mean, they've had some impressive numbers through the air in some of these games, and I see against step-up competition, Wazoo, Missouri, Boise, Fresno, all those teams shredded Wyoming. I just don't think they could score enough. I hear your points here. Your only wins coming against Wofford, and that was difficult. You also, you had a tough schedule. I won't knock that, but and you probably should lose all these games you played, and your only win should be Wofford. Um, I don't
And how
know.
about
It's
how about
just
this one?
hard.
They can't block anybody, Colorado State on the front line as is. You flip to the page with injuries, Jeff. 5 offensive linemen either doubtful or downgraded to out tonight in this ball game. So that should tell you something a lot. If you don't have healthy offensive linemen when you stink, let's in NFL terms, Jeff. Ready? The Giants starting front 5, they're all injured.
Yeah, I mean, I would
That's
have
what
to
you might be
keep.
looking at tonight. Yeah.
I would have to definitely keep abreast of what's going on with those few guys because that is a big thing in this game. For me though, if they play, I don't know. Wyoming just defies logic to me. I don't see it. But
And also, you're looking at maybe an interesting angle for Colorado State as well, Jeff, because after this game against Wyoming, they're off until the 10th. So maybe they look at all these offensive linemen and say, hey, you know what? We're 3-5. Hey, if we lose, we still can be bowl eligible. Let's make sure everybody's healthy, not force anybody back in and sit them out, and then we'll all be ready to go in a couple weeks when we get off our bye. But it's one of those lines that I circled all week. The same thing with the Georgia Tech line. I was just too, not trigger happy enough to pull it and actually give that play out. Wyoming is staring me right in the face and saying, you got to be kidding me with this line.
I mean, look, the likelihood of a bowl for Colorado State is pretty unlikely. I mean, they have 4 games left, and 3 are against Nevada, Utah State, and Air Force. This is a winnable game, though. They're going to go out and I think put max effort in here. But yeah, look, the line doesn't make sense. I mean, again, we have to make this clear. The public is not betting Wyoming, yet the line has went in their favor. That's a sharp angle that sharp bettors are on Wyoming here. I mean, it's not a surprise. Colorado State is slightly overvalued. It's just on the field. If you think the field and the teams don't matter, you just care about strictly the number. This should be a stone cold Wyoming line. So I see Donnie's point there. I'm just looking at the field perspective and saying, well, hey, I have to deal with a freshman quarterback. B, he's on the road. C, they can't score points. And D, I don't know how good their pass defense is. And Carter Samuel is going to whip it around. Fascinating game. I'll be interested in
Mhm.
watching it and seeing what happens.
Yeah. Late
Final
night.
game on final game on the card here. La Tech heading on the road to take on Florida Atlantic. What a weird season for the Owls. Just a bad season, frankly. Chris Robinson, whether it's him or DeAndre Johnson, whoever it is, they can't move the football. But here's the thing: at home, they've been a different team. 45 points a game. They're 3-0 down in Boca. Defensively, they've been better. They're really just a different team, Donnie, at home. You look at their home games this year, beat up Air Force, beat Bethune-Cookman, beat Old Dominion, put up 52 in that game. It's a different story on the road, but you look at the road games at Oklahoma, at Central Florida, at Middle Tennessee, and at Marshall, all pretty solid teams that can make bowl games. Donnie, at home, it's been a different story. La Tech, though, they've lost 2 or 3. Good good run defense. They played well on that side of the ball, and they've actually been a good pass defense as well. La Tech, a pretty underrated team. Jamar Smith, a good quarterback, generally well coached under Skip Holtz. But what do you like here? What do you think? Tough
Yeah,
game.
this is a tough one because you're looking at this and saying, right off the bat, like, well, I lean Louisiana Tech because I don't really like what I've seen out of Florida Atlantic. But you're right, Florida Atlantic, a much better home team. They are a away team. They have a nice streak going at this point. But when you look at Louisiana Tech, I like this kind of stuff you brought up. Going on the road and beating North Texas. Not an easy thing to do. North Texas isn't playing as well as we thought they possibly would be coming into the season, even though they did knock off Arkansas. We'll see how they end up, but that's a nice victory. UAB, no shame in losing to UAB, Jeff. That's a really good football team. Put away a bad UTSA team and then getting by UTEP. He's actually playing a little bit better football. But what do you want out of FAU tonight? Because we all know Singletary is a fantastic running back, but not having that ridiculous year that he typically has, even though he does have 14 touchdowns, which seems like a lot, but that is through 7 games. It seemed like he was scoring 4 times a game last year and early in the season. Couldn't get off last week against Marshall. Now you have the quarterback who's not very good to begin with, banged up with a foot injury. And you're right, Rafe Peavy is going to come in. What has he done? He's transferred to like 6 different schools at this point. And then you have Johnson also. So you're not getting high-quality quarterback play to go with the running back at this point like you got for so many years with FAU at this point under Lane Kiffin. It's one of those where I'm just shaking my head going, you know what? Might be best just to lean on the points here. But FAU, as I said, is a pretty good home team. And there's a reason why this line sets here. But I don't want any piece of FAU just yet. If you're going to have a rough quarterback situation, Jeff, it's hard for me to get in bed and say, boy, I really like that game with a team going on the road.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a lot of tech here with a solid quarterback, though. You got to like Jamar Smith. You like some of the
Yeah.
things they do. Generally, pretty good offensive team. And look, I like them on defense generally, and I don't think Florida Atlantic can score. Though at home they've been a different story this year, but this is a much better opponent than Bethune Cookman and Old Dominion. So I actually kind of lean La Tech here, Frank.
Yeah, no,
Donnie,
I'm on the same wavelength as you on that. I am.
I think of Uncle June anytime Boca is mentioned, says Lloyd Mass. I agreed. Uncle June loved Boca. That was his
Down
spot.
south where the tuna run. What
Uncle
are you
June,
saying?
Uncle June. I knew you were a fish man, but I didn't know you like sushi. South
Would
of
you
the
let the main thing off?
border, where the tuna fish play. Yeah, that's a great scene when they're at the golf course, and then after him and Mikey Palmisi in the dressing room, they're talking about Tony. That's a great
I
scene.
knew it. I knew it, Junior. No, you didn't. I just told you.
I fucking knew it. Uh, he's
No,
gotta
you didn't.
go. I no, you didn't. I just fucking told you. That's a good one.
Man, that's
Um,
quality. That's,
Donnie, we got about 5 minutes to go. Quick breakdown in honor of Donnie Rightside. QPR taking on Aston Villa today
oh,
at Loftus Road. QPR's home ground. QPR comes in here, Donnie. How about this? Last 4 games, they've won 3 on the bounce. Impressive work. Beating Reading, beating Ipswich Town. And
yeah.
how about this? A 3-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday. Impressive stuff. The only bad result, not really a bad result, to get a draw at Derby County. So QPR playing good football right now. They welcome in Aston Villa, who has just made a coaching change. They bring in Dean Smith from Brentford, John Terry, now the assistant. John Terry, a high-level Premier League player, played many years for Chelsea. This is a big-time duo at coach. Question is, what do you like with the play? Donnie, you're a fan of QPR. They've been playing well. I got to tell you, I think this is a fun one. I think we see some goals, maybe a little Desmond Tutu, maybe a little Tutu action here. I I'll tell you what, QPR is not the same whipping boy that I think they were at one point. You got a number here. I think a lot of punters will come in and take Villa because of the price. Villa is a good side, and they're a known side. QPR is generally just Queens Park Rangers. I got a feeling this one's a draw. I think it's 2-2, frankly.
Told you,
Maybe a
Jeff. I
shot with
told
the
you when they
over.
played Sheffield Wednesday that tragedy of 20 to 30 years ago would really come into play, and I was right on it, Jeff. Right on it. And you can't get that analysis
Well, let
anywhere
Donnie.
else.
Come on, Donnie. Let's not make jokes about Hillsborough. That was many years ago and has nothing to do with this game. But
That was
again,
my capping strategy in that game.
maybe the emotional is still there. Sorry though, with QPR and sparkling form, Donnie, I just can't
Hmm.
bet against them right now.
Any
I got a
shot that
feeling
they
there's
get
goals.
elevated, Jeff, this year. Any shot we're getting elevated.
Well, listen. Here's the
Can
problem,
we go
Donnie.
on a
Now,
run?
while you've won 3 or 4,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, look, they're middle of the table right now. You look at the fact they have 20 points. Leeds United, the top club in this division, 26 points. Listen, it's not out of the question. Can they get into the top 6 to get a playoff berth? I don't know. Maybe if they keep playing this way, sure they can. I mean, it's only the 14th game of the season. There's still 25 games left. So yeah, of course they can. They're playing great right now. You gotta be impressed. I mean, this is a team that was shocking to start the season.
Mm.
Remember that 7-1 loss to West Bromwich Albion? They've had some tough ones, but they've been good at home, and I have a feeling they're going to turn up tonight. I like goals though. I'll go over 2.5. That'll be our free
Go,
play of
go,
the day
go, go,
here.
go, 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 go. There you go.
Yes.
QPR, man.
I'll tell you what, Donnie. This show, it seems like we've been on the air for 2 hours. This show has went so slow today. I feel like. You feel
I
like
don't know.
that?
It seems pretty
I
quick.
feel like.
Seems quick to me. I got a million shows to do today, so we'll just keep knocking them out.
I feel like it's taken forever. It's only 10:55. But we'll wrap it up. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for checking out the show. We appreciate you. Hope you've had a great week watching the show, and we appreciate all the great comments as always. We'll be back later, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 Pacific. We'll go over all the football on the Football Friday edition of Closing Line. Donnie, the callers yesterday were terrific. Really have
Yes.
enjoyed that. A lot of people calling in. If you want to call in, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call anytime during the show. You got a game you want us to talk about? Make sure you call us and ask. We always have good conversation. We have about, I don't know, 7 or 8 names in the running for a gift card. So keep calling for that. College Chill will join us. He wasn't on last week. Donnie, College Chill didn't have a good first week. He'll be back
Was he saying
today.
then he
We'll
didn't
get
want
it.
to come on? What are you saying? Then he didn't want to come on the next week because he didn't have a good
Well,
first week?
here's the
Damn.
thing about College Chill. That's not the kind of guy he is. He runs a restaurant, Donnie. He runs Stogie Joe's, a great
Mm.
restaurant down in South Philly. He wasn't available. He'll be back today to face the music. He'll be fine. College Chill doesn't run and hide. He'll be fine. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for checking us out. I got to get ready, Donnie. Go to the gym. I got to continue this
Mm.
high level workout that I've been doing.
Yes.
So we'll have some fun. Troy V, give us a call later. We'll talk with you and everyone else at 3 o'clock. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next time, Monday, here on the show. Bye bye.